And here it is. We go again. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Here it is. We go again. Here I am again. Hope you're there. The session starts Your Company Required. We are having two sessions today. The first installment are being paid right now. So the session commences Your Company Required. That thing now happening twice a day, happening twice a day today. So one man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. Holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your Madika, Yabika Kokwanam Noa. Hey, Anamekele Mazuche Mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Mandekano, it's another Savior. Just sing along, holy, 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 Mandekano, it's another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 it's another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving faster now. Holy, 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 it's another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right and moving faster. Yeah, for freedom. It's another Savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 Nandekana, it's another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. Holy, 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 all the men will do is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your Madika, Yabika Kokwanam Noa. Hey, Anamekele Mazuche Mefo.
And there it is right there, the holy, holy song from the eastern parts of the country. the Holy Holy song. So Holy Holy, as guys, I bring you this. Wike sues Atiku, Tambuwal demands recognition as candidate. So it looks as though that space, Wike not looking likely to anytime soon leave the headline space as it continues to dominate the headline, even though all matters have been done and dusted. So there it is. Wiki, another installment rather, not an installation, but an installment. So Wiki, yet another installment. We've been trying, especially on this platform, to park the Wiki narrative to one side because it's getting somewhat tedious. But when it does this, we cannot help but bring it to attention. Wiki sues Atiku Tambuwal demands recognition as candidate. So quite what underpins that we find out shortly. Mogalu endorses Peter Obi's candidacy after meeting. So it looks as though Kingsley Mogalu, now one of my favorite presidential aspirants, he has now joined the Obi train. So what White has led him to that thought outside of just outside of just tribal affiliation. We'll find out shortly. Mogalu endorses Peter Obi's candidacy after meeting. So we find out what is in play there. Still with Peter Obi, if Peter Obi wins and actually changes the country, better for all of us. Femi Kuti says as he denies calling obedience zombies. So there it is right there. It looks as though the obedient space, there's another side skirmish apparently with Femi Kuti as well, because they just seem to be all out fighting everybody. And Femi Kuti has now felt the need to come out to save his head. If Peter Obi wins and actually changes the country, better for all of us. Femi Kuti says as he denies calling obedience zombies. So this next headline is a throwback to quite a while ago. So this is not something that is contemporary and new to space. This is a throwback headline. How we paid terrorists from Niger, Cameroon, Chad, others to stop killing in Kaduna. So this is El-Rufai making that news once upon a time. So they say money well spent. So certainly that money not at all well spent, because the monies that he allegedly purportedly paid them to stop killing, they've just used it to buy more weapons to kill even more people. How we paid terrorists from Niger, Cameroon, Chad, others to stop killing in Kaduna. Nasir El-Rufai has talking about how we also have wasted Nigeria's money. He probably just stole the money and just used that as an excuse anyway, most likely the case. 2023 presidency, why Tinubu will win election. Deji Adeyanju making the headline in this instance. So I'm not sure what level of seriousness anybody attributes to anything that comes from Deji Adeyanju. So suspend any serious thoughts when we land on this. Just take it in the realms of joviality and conviviality. 2023 presidency, why Tinubu will win election, Deji Adeyanju making the headline there. So plenty to go through. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol, click on the like button if you haven't done that already. Click on subscribe as well. So we're really pushing those two buttons. So if you have no reason to not click on the like button, then you have every reason to click on the like button. So if it doesn't offend you not to click on the like button, then you have every reason to click on it. So click on it and fulfill that righteousness. As you're clicking on the like button, if you notice that you've not already subscribed, so do that as well. Click on the subscribe button as well. Then haven't done that, all righteousness has been fulfilled. So there is one more button to click on, but this is at your discretion if you feel like. So if you feel like joining me on the screens, you can click onto this hyperlink that is now showing on the screen. So click on that hyperlink that says StreamYard, the one showing on the screen. It's in the comment section. It'll be the last comment in the comment section. So if you want to come join me on the screen, click on that hyperlink. It brings you into a studio space. Soon as I finish reading out the talking points, I'll let you onto the screens and I'll engage you in a conversation around the talking points. So as we said about the clickings, the like button, the subscribe if you are not already subscribed, and the hyperlink that says StreamYard at your discretion. Let me provide you with a little bit of a musical backdrop for those clickings. So your calabash are to hand. We join the guys.
Only water, only water, where they see ma. Water,
only water, where they see ma.
Hapa o naido. Hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù yé o. Ilé sọ́dí àkẹ́kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Bobby master kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Chifu Faila ti kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù rẹ̀ o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mù dé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mù dòde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosonama ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there it is right there. Ikuko Niru Agweshe, the mighty care guys. Ikuko Niru Agweshe, as guys, I bring you this. Wike sues Atiku Tambuwal demands recognition as candidate. Governor Yemson Wike of Rivers State has sued the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Governor Yemson Wike of Rivers State has sued the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, the Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal, and the PDP over the conduct of the presidential primary of the party that was held in Abuja on May the 28th and 29th, 2022. In the suit marked FHC/ABJ/CS/782/2022, Wike and a PDP chieftain, Newgate Akamon, are listed as the plaintiffs. In the originating summons, the PDP is listed as the first respondent, whilst the Independent National Electoral Commission as the second respondent. Tambuwal and Atiku are listed as the third and fourth respondents, respectively. During the PDP presidential primaries, when aspirants were asked to address delegates, Tambuwal had asked them to vote for him, only to return moments later to ask them to vote for Atiku. At the primary, Atiku polled 371 votes, whilst Wike and Bukola Saraki garnered 237 and 70 votes respectively. After the convention, the national chairman of the PDP, Iyochia Ayu, described Tambuwal as the hero of the convention. In the originating summons, Wike and his co-applicants asked the court to determine 8 issues, including whether the purported transfer of Tambuwal's vote to Atiku by the PDP was illegal and void. The plaintiff also asked the court to determine if Tambuwal lost his claim 2 votes the moment he stepped down for Atiku. He asked the court to determine whether Tambuwal, having stepped down during the primaries, ought to lose his votes. Wike and Ekamon argued that should these issues be determined in their favor, the court should grant Oh, let me see. Right. So let's carry on. Wike and Ekaman argued that should these issues be determined in their favor, the court should grant 9 reliefs, including a declaration that the purported transfer of Tambuwal's votes to Atiku be declared null and void. The plaintiffs are also seeking a declaration that the PDP acted negligently and in bad faith by assigning the Sokoto governor's votes to Atiku at the primary. They prayed the court to cancel the transfer of votes and a corresponding order restraining the third respondent, Tambuwal's withdrawal in the primary, was done after voting had commenced. The application also prayed the court to declare that the PDP and Atiku took undue advantage of Tambuwal's withdrawal when they allowed the Sokoto governor to persuade delegates to vote for the former vice president in the primary. Wike and Eckerman asked the court to order INEC to reject or remove Atiku from its list of candidates in the 2023 presidential election. They are also seeking an order commanding the PDP to recount the votes of the primary that was held on May the 28th and 29th. Lastly, the applicants are seeking an order of the court directing the first respondent PDP to declare the second applicant Wike a presidential aspirant in the May 28th and 29th primary as the winner of the aforesaid primary, with a corresponding order directing the first respondent PDP to forward his name as the candidate to contest the presidential election in 2023. In a supporting affidavit he deposed to, Ekaman noted that he was a member of the PDP and attested to the fact that Wike won the presidential primary election. He maintained that Tambuwal withdrew from the contest after voting had commenced and directed that his votes be assigned to Atiku. The third respondent, Tambuwal, speaking twice before stepping down from the contest, persuaded all his delegates who were going to vote for him to vote for the fourth respondent, Tambuwal. The first PDP and fourth Atiku respondents, who also wanted the votes desperately, agreed with the third Tambuwal and assigned third Tambuwal's respondents' vote to the fourth to the fourth respondent, that is Atiku, and increased his vote to win the second that should be to win over that should say, and increased his vote to win the second applicant, Wike. The second applicant, Wike, won the primaries if the votes of the third respondent, Tambuwal, had not been transferred or assigned to the fourth respondent, Atiku. Correspondents learned that the court processes had been served on the PDP at its Wadata Plaza headquarters, located at Wuse Zone 5, whilst a copy had also been delivered to Atiku's campaign office in Maitama and the Sokoto State Government's liaison office by the court bailiff. Wike has been at loggerheads with Atiku and Tambuwal since his defeat at the presidential primary. He had lambasted the PDP for allowing Tambuwal to canvass vote for Atiku after he had already been allowed to speak earlier at the convention. If I wanted to scuttle the convention, I could have done that and told them, I have never seen how people can violate procedures and guidelines. Somebody had spoken. It is only at that point he was speaking that he could say, I have withdrawn. You can't call him back, Wike had said. After the primaries, Atiku had been advised to pick Wike as his running mate. However, the former vice president decided to nominate Governor Ifeanyi Okowa as his running mate, a move that further deepened the crisis in the party. Wike and his clique of governors have Wike and his clique of governors have reportedly demanded the resignation of the PDP national chairman as a condition for them to campaign for Atiku. They argued that all top positions in the party are being occupied by northerners, and Ayu, who is from the north central, must resign as a concession to the south. However, Ayu has maintained that he would only resign after Atiku emerges the winner of the presidential election next year. When contacted on the telephone, the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Olagun, Ologunagba. So when contacted on the telephone, the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Ologunagba, said he was unaware of the case and thus could not comment on it. I am just hearing about this case from you. I have not seen the process and thus cannot comment on it, he said. Also, Atiku's spokesman, Paul Ibe, said his principal had not yet been served and thus cannot comment on the matter. We are not aware of the case and have not been served. When we are served, we will respond appropriately. However, the response will be done in the proper manner and not through the media, Ibe said. Efforts to reach Wike on his mobile phone proved abortive, as it indicated that calls were being forwarded, even as he had yet to respond to a text sent to his mobile as of the time of filing this report on Thursday night. Similarly, Mr. Kelvin Ibiri, Special Assistant on Media to the Governor, could not be reached as his mobile phone was not connecting, even as he had yet to reply to a text and WhatsApp message sent to him as of the time of filing this report. So there it is right there. So there is Wike, of course, still in play very much. And I'm not quite sure how much veracity this lawsuit will have. But then, of course, he has sufficient enough money to pursue it. And what results? Because it's just an unnecessary distraction, isn't it? And the way he has been treated, you can see that he feels aggrieved. And I think this because Atiku's leadership qualities are really being called into question, especially in this moment. So first is decision making around the Deborah narrative when he withdrew that tweet condemning how that girl was gruesomely killed because he was instructed to do so by the extremists in the north. So that's one. But the second is how he has managed this wicked narrative. So he thinks beating down on Wike shows that he's powerful and a leader. But that's not showing leadership. Being able to negotiate Wike back on board is really where the leadership indications are. But just trying to weigh down upon him using untoward methods, because they certainly the way that the primaries were conducted in the PDP are untoward methods. So using somewhat untoward methods to weigh down upon this guy, thinking that shows that he's a tough man and a strong man, is yet another indication that he doesn't especially have the contemporaneous leadership qualities that are needed for contemporaneous times. Mogalu endorses Peter Obi's candidacy after meeting. A presidential candidate in the 2019 general election and an aspirant in respect of the 2023 poll, Kingsley Mogalu, on Friday, expressed his belief that Peter Obi's candidacy is a welcome development. Correspondents report that both men met on Thursday morning at the residence of the former central bank governor, at the former Central Bank of Nigeria deputy governor, and discussed the state of the nation. Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, is the presidential flag bearer of the Labour Party and has a significant support on social media, especially amongst the youth. His Excellency at Peter Obi paid me a visit yesterday morning at my residence in Abuja. I was very glad to receive him. We discussed the state of the nation and his aspiration to lead our country from 2023. Mogalu wrote on his verified Twitter handle with the accompanying image. I have always enjoyed a warm, fraternal relationship with Okwete. We collaborated closely when he was governor of at Anambra State, and as I, also an Anambra indigene, was deputy governor of Art Central Bank. I recall his keen interest in education and our close coordination when, as CBN deputy governor, I influenced a corporate social responsibility investment of 1 billion naira by the bank in building infrastructure for Anambra State University in Igbariam. So that is the Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu University. I also recall His Excellency Peter Obi's invitation to me to deliver the sixth edition of the Anambra State Distinguished Public Lecture in 2011 on the subject of Nigeria's banking reforms. His conferment on me of the Anambra State Government's Special Award for Excellence and our collaboration as colleagues in Nigeria's economic management team under the then President Goodluck Jonathan. As someone who has been a leading voice for our youth and a third force, uh, as someone who has been a leading voice for our youth and a third force approach to Nigeria's democracy, I believe Peter Obi's candidacy is a welcome development. So, a welcome development is what Kingsley Mogalu describes his clansman's candidacy as. So I wonder what the news is there. Who else is Kingsley Mogalu going to endorse other than his own tribesman, his own even, to clansman even. If Peter Obi wins and actually changes the country, better for all of us. Femi Kuti moves to save his head. He denies calling obedience zombies. Nigerian music star Femi Kuti has denied calling obedience, who are simply those campaigning. Nigerian music star Femi Kuti has denied calling obedience, who are simply those campaigning for Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi, zombies. Kuti, who stated that his words were taken out of context, added that what he meant was that that he's too angry at his age to be obedient and he does not like the term. He further stated that if Peter Obi wins and actually changes the country for the better, for all of us. And let me take this entirely all over again. I've just read that just in too funny a way. Nigerian music star Femi Kuti has denied calling obedient, who are simply those campaigning for Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi, zombies. Kuti, who stated that his words were taken out of context, added that what he meant was he's too angry at his age to be obedient and he does not like the term. He further stated that if Peter Obi wins and actually changes the country, better for all of us. Kuti tweeted, "You are such liars. Of what benefit is it to the people when you take my words out of context like this? I said I am too angry at my age to be obedient, expressing I do not like the term. But if Peter Obi wins and actually changes the country for the better, better for all of us." So this is so that's the thrust of it really. But then would they let it go? I'm sure they're still abusing him. So this one comes. I am King E. Kulu temper. You are not the only one that is angry. We all are. No matter how angry you think you are, still be obedient. Egbon Femi, obedient is simply coined after his name by his followers. So please don't make a mountain out of a molehill. So they won't let it go, of course. This scourge of the earth, this kern of the earth elements that It's just anyway. How we paid. So this is a flashback headline, by the way. So this is not something that is new and contemporaneous. Flashback. How we paid terrorists from Niger, Cameroon, Chad, others to stop killing in Kaduna. So the little man from there, Kaduna, Governor Nasir El-Rufai has said terrorists are consolidating their grip on communities in Kaduna State with a parallel government and permanent operational base in the northwest state. The governor, who made this known in a memo issued to President Mohamed Buhari in July, as obtained by correspondents, said members of the Jumatu Ansaru, something or the other, Sudan, popularly known as Ansaru, are hibernating in Kuyelo district of the Beningwari local government area of the state. The terrorists, according to reports, moved to Beningwari in 2012 when they broke away from Boko Haram. El-Rufai in the memo alerted the president that the terrorists are exercising control over social and economic activities and dispensation of justice in the area where they are believed to have established a permanent operational base. Kaduna State is currently among states being terrorized by terrorists who sack villages and kidnap residents in exchange for ransom. However, in 2016, the governor said his administration traced some violent and aggrieved Fulani headsmen to their countries and paid them to stop the killing in the state. He said the headsmen demanded to be compensated for the loss of their cattle after they were affected by the post-election violence of 2011. El-Rufai said at the time, for Southern Kaduna, we didn't understand what was going on, and we decided to set up a committee under General Martin Luther Agui, retired, to find out what was going on there. What was established was that the root of the problem has a history starting from 2011 post-election violence. Fulani herdsmen from across Africa bring their cattle towards Middle Belt and southern Nigeria. The moment the rain starts around March, April, they start moving them to go back to their various communities and countries. Unfortunately, it was when they were moving up with their cattle across southern Kaduna that the election of 2011 took place, and the crisis trapped some of them. Some of them were from Niger, Cameroon, Chad, Mali, and Senegal. Fulanis are in 14 African countries, and they traverse these countries with the cattle. So many of these people were killed. Cattle lost. So many of these people were killed. Cattle lost, and they organized themselves and came back for revenge. So a lot of what was happening in southern Kaduna was actually from outside Nigeria. We got a hint that the late Governor Patrick Yakowa got this information, and he sent someone to go around some of these Fulani communities. But of course, after he died, the whole thing stopped. That is what we inherited. But the Agui committee established that. We took certain steps. We got a group of people that were going around trying to trace some of these people in Cameroon, Niger Republic, and so on, to tell them that there is a new governor who is Fulani like them and has no problem paying compensations for lives lost, and he's begging them to stop the killing. In most of the communities, once that appeal was made to them, they said they have forgiven. There are one or two that asked for monetary compensation. They said they have forgiven the death of human beings, but wanted compensation for cattle. We said no problem, and we paid some. As recently as 2 weeks ago, the team went to Niger Republic to attend one Fulani gathering that they hold every year with a message from me. So there it is right there. So if you are looking for the sponsors of terrorism, look no further than the State House in Kaduna, of course, who is the one that is giving them the money to buy the weapons. So we learned finally on this 2023 presidency why Tinubu will win election, Deji Adeyanju. So I'm not sure what maybe treat this one with levity, perhaps. But let's see what he has to say. The brainless buffoon from wherever he is from. Deji Adeyanju, a prominent public commentator on Friday, said Bola Tinubu, presidential standard bearer of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC for the 2023 election, will win the poll because the main opposition party, People's Democratic Party (PDP), is not serious. Correspondents report that Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State, is one of the frontline candidates for next year's presidential election. The 70-year-old has been in politics since 1992 and is recognized as a major player in the emergence of Mohamed Buhari as president in 2015. He is up against the likes of Rabiu Kokonso, New Nigeria People's Party, Peter Obi Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar People's Democratic Party, and Omoyele Sowore, African Action Congress. My prediction remains that Tinubu will win the election in February because PDP is divided into 4 unserious branches: articulated, obedient, Kwankwasia, and controversy branch. Pro-Wike Adeyanju wrote in his on his Twitter handle. So that's division then, because of course who is going to slice from Atiku's vote is essentially what he's speaking to. So there's the traditional farmhold PDPs who will go with Atiku, but then there are PDPs from the southeastern hue, especially, that will go with Peter Obi, of course. Kwakwanso starting to cut into whatever it is that is available to Atiku, and almost with certainty, Yemson Wike is going to stick a knife in at some point, and that knife will take at least a very decisive, perhaps I should say, a decisive cut. So there it is. That is how Deji Adeyanju permutates it. So never want to really be taken seriously, but how much veracity are we giving to that? So that's the menu. Let's now see who's available to take it on. One Piece, I see you. Ajale Koko, I see you. Thomas, I see you. Saki Father, I see you. And Ovie, I see you. Good to have you, gentlemen. Let me kick it off with Thomas. Thomas, are you ready to go? Thomas, are you there? Thomas. Okay, I don't think Thomas is ready to go. So let me come with you then, Ovie, since you are obviously ready to go. Let me remove Thomas because clearly he's not with us. So Ovie, to you then, this news then of Wike taking to court. There's case number and everything. So I think there's been a feeble attempt to deny it, which nobody's taking seriously. But now he's taken to court then, querying just how that presidential primaries went on, and then insisting that the court enforce that INEC delete Atiku and add him as the presidential flag bearer. So what are you making of that then, Ovie?
Yeah, well, it was funny when I first saw it, but I think what Saki is trying to say is right, because I think this day just reported. So
I've got it on the news streams as well that Wike denies dragging. So I'm not sure. Let's go with that then. Rivers State Governor Yemson Wike has denied a purported suit that are said to have been filed by him seeking the removal of Atiku Abubakar as presidential candidate of the PDP in next year's election. This came a few hours after some media outfits had reported that Wike had ordered the removal of PDP flags in Rivers State House, which also turned out to be false. According to correspondents, the governor denied knowing anything whatsoever about the purported suit, and even knowing the lawyers who filed the suit in the first instance. I know nothing about the so-called suit. I did not ask anyone to file any suit for me. The media on Friday morning are awash with reports that Governor Yemson Wike, one chieftain of the PDP, Mr. Newgate Akaman, had dragged the PDP to court, seeking the removal of Atiku as candidate of the PDP in next year's presidential election. According to the purported suit marked, so it gives us the case number. The plaintiffs were said to have hinged their claims on the grounds that PDP primary conferred undue advantage on Atiku, which aided his emergence as candidate of the PDP in the May 28-29 primaries. Reacting to the publication, Wike denied the suit, said to have been filed at the Federal High Court Abuja. He described the suit as the handiwork of mischief makers who merely wanted to use him to score cheap political goals. He said emphatically, I don't know the lawyers. Continuing, he said, I am a kid. He said, am I a kid? That should say, am I a kid to be filing a suit at this time? I had 14 days after the primaries within which to file any suit. I did not do that then. Is it 2 months after primaries that I will file the suit? So Wike being somewhat coy. That's why I did say because I am aware that that is out there, but I'm not really taking it with any real veracity, and I'll tell you why. Because what we know is that lawsuit has been filed. That lawsuit has been filed because we have the case number, but Wike is telling us that he did not file it, and he did not facilitate for the filing of it. But the name of the person, the other applicant on that case, is a name indigenous to his space, and that lawsuit is in place, and there is no equivocation that Wike has a hand in it in some form. But let's take it on those two strands that it was filed and he has denied it. So on those two spaces, go with that. Okay.
Yeah, but it's still more of a political move than a legal move. It's nothing that is going to come out for it. Maybe, as you said, if we were to give credence to it, it's just to throw the campaign of Atiku, of their game. But to me, it's still a very clownish suit. People, let's say if it's true, because remember one man when
hold on. It is actually true. The lawsuit is there, but what Wike is saying is that he did not file it.
Yeah, but it's still not going to hold water. As I said, it's just a move to keep them on their foot, or just to keep the permutation going, rather than for them to focus on the campaign train that they are working towards. So it's a political move, and again, but it's a clownish move too, if you ask me. But remember, when these 17 southern governors came together last year and said the presidency must come to the south, I came out openly and said they are clowns, and they seems to be proving me right by the day. I mean, what is the lawsuit going to achieve? Are they going to dismiss Atiku and bring Wike in? No, that's not going to happen. So
why not? Why not? Why is that?
How one man and Nigeria would then how you want it to happen? How? There's some things
if the court finds that what the applicant said obtains, then why would they not dismiss Atiku?
Yeah, but you also read in that your article that you have 14 days to file for any grievances. You don't pass 14 days now. This is almost 14 months.
It's 2 months, but I think he has 14 days within the court, within the party's rules, but not within the overall constitutional affordation.
A serious score will not even attend to that. If how you want a super party that actually has
OVA. Wike himself have 2 weeks. And then any other person have any time in the world to sue Atiku.
Yes, okay. Let's let us give it, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Now PDP will talk here, no be mushroom party on one side. How you want it to happen? It's just some things that will happen, especially putting everything on the table. Now Nigeria with the type of politics we are practicing, and how? Just like those people that are suing Tinubu for result are waiting in the court. How it want to happen that a ruling party will not have presidential candidate? It will never happen. A presidential candidate we are talking about here. All these are just distraction on the side to just throw their.
No, it's not a distraction. No, it's a gambit. It's a gambit.
Okay, to just to put their push to in a way dissuade the movement that is going.
Do you know what I mean when I say it's a gambit? What I mean is that it's a play to force the space. So if they are doing this lawsuit, one is either to really push for that intention, which is a side bet, but really to push for an agenda. To something just to, because this is another element of the so many other goings on within the Wike space. So for them to address that space frontally, they have to then come and make a concession to him, because he's now getting a bit too out of control. And that concession that he wants is Ayu's head. So is this lawsuit really a play for Ayu's head?
Yes, okay, one man. Even the IU is not going anywhere. They are not going to succumb to one man, which for the lack of word, one man just to satisfy his ego or anything. Then but if they succeed,
no, the whole southern part of the party, they want IU out.
That's what I'm saying. Either one person or a group of people. If they succeed, what is going to happen? That means you are setting a precedence. It doesn't happen.
Obviously, the same thing you are saying. This is what the Northern caucus are doing inside PDP. They get what they want once they come together. Why can't the South come together and get what they want? They don't want RU out. Then let him out. When the Saturn wanted Sankodo out, he was out.
No, okay. Listen now. You bring Sankodo in. Now the man will nominate Sankodo want him out. And of course, what do you expect? The other part, the Northerners always play along when it comes to things like this.
You said the same thing. You said the man, then you said the one man is not good at the party. How can one man that nominates Sokodo, then once Sokodo out, then he was out?
Who is Ayu and who is Secondos?
Forget
there are many things you have to. There are many things you have to put into consideration.
Like you just said, nobody's good at the party. Even the IBB. When he was behaving in PDP, can you cut it to the size? So you cannot say because IU is one of the founding father, he can do or not do. It's wrong, man.
What please? You don't have to agree with me, but allow me make my point, and I'll stick to what I'm saying. IU will not. It will not happen. They will not. So IU and Secondos, you cannot put them on the same pedestal. IU is one of the only 3 founding members of the party that is still alive today.
Hold on, I'm not saying what you are saying is wrong. I'm just saying school of thought.
Then allow me talk. You are saying it's wrong. Let's not wasting our time. Allow me talk.
It's not wrong. I'm talking about. Wrong. I'm talking about. Sorry. Not wrong. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Why can't we start have that same power? It's only not that have that privilege.
Oh yeah.
It's not they have that privilege. It is a game. If you can succeed, go for it. Nobody is saying you should not do it. Nobody is saying that they cannot. Go for it. But are you going to succeed? It's not. It's a game. And it's a game of.
Hold on. Let's hear from Ajale Koko. I think Ajale Koko wants to come in.
Ovie.
Yes.
IU is not bigger than the party.
I know that.
Yes.
I know that.
If you see Makinde, that Baba in Lagos, what's the name? That anti-Tinubu Baba.
Bode George.
And every other powers that be in the party from the southwest, and Wike leading others from the south, saying that they want IU out. And you see Otom and others as well saying IU must leave. If they don't adhere to their call, then Atiku getting the presidency is gone. They are very serious about it. And you see the structure of the party, Northerners filling all the strategic position in the party. So if they don't fight it now, and they said until when Atiku assumed the position of presidency, it's going to be very hard. Because those ones will say, look, yes, let us run our time until the next convention. That is what is going to happen. So
okay, sorry. Keep going.
So Wike and his team are not backing down. And IU I want to tell you, it's not bigger. They are just playing. It will leave. It will leave.
All right, back to your view.
I am going to put money where my mouth is. I'll go bet with anybody. Ayu is not leaving till after the election. That's how much I believe.
Don't make that bet, Ovie, because there's a
One
good
man,
chance that it may.
I am putting my money where my mouth is. This is 9 o'clock in the morning. I am very much awake. I'll put my money where my mouth is. He is not going anywhere. That's how much confidence I have that Ayu will not leave just because they are calling for him to leave. Yeah, not at this moment. I understand what you are saying.
You know, we've had this sort of audacious comment before from no less Thomas when they told us they're not born or Sheba and Joel to run. So don't be too quick to leave.
One man. The only audacious promise that I've seen. The only audacious promise that I've seen.
Ovie, for your information, they are holding Ayu's word against him. He said that if a northerner emerges as the presidential candidate, he will leave. This is what Ayu said some months ago. So saying that he won't honor what he said some months ago, that is a big problem on his head.
Yeah. All this, everything you put on the table, I've said it before. I've come here and named all the leaders of PDP. They are from the north. Start from the national chairman, Ayu, who is from Benue. Go to both chairman, who is from, that's Jibril, who is from Nasarawa, to Atiku, who is from Adamawa, to PDP governor Forun chairman, Tambuwal, who is from Sokoto. I know all the positions there. I know, yes, I've said it before now. The northern they control this thing now. And I said that. I understand what you are saying. But when it comes to this particular one, it will not happen until after the election. I know what he promised. Said yes, if Atiku or anybody from the north in the ticket is going to resign. I know. I'm not naive to not to know all these things. But I am still telling you, I put my money where my mouth is. He is not going to leave just because they are all these people that you call them the man from Lagos and everybody is calling for it. It's not going to happen. Yes, Secondo won't happen because that's what they want. When you remember, from day one, I'm saying that political parties are owned, they are private entity, they are business entity. And people put them together with their and everything. I said this before.
All right, Ovie, Brownberry is taking you on, but so just be mindful. But I am also of the view that there's a good chance that Ayu would leave before the elections. And it will just be a quiet replacement because the only thing is that they will afford Atiku the choice to pick who is comfortable to work with in the south.
One man, I'm sticking to my guns. It will not happen. I'm not going to deliver what I've said. It's not going to happen.
All right, we'll certainly monitor that space because Wike, of course, has come out to deny that he's party to that lawsuit. But that lawsuit is there and it is ongoing. That lawsuit it's not going to lead to the removal of Atiku, I don't think. But it's an unnecessary distraction from the focus of the party. And
exactly.
that is to tell them that Wike is still very much in play and it is still something that they have to contend with and settle. And he has already named his price, which is Ayu's head.
And my fear for Wike is that he might end up losing the governorship election in Rivers the way he's going. That's his candidate.
Unlikely.
They might gang up against him and make sure he loses.
As you are saying, as you just said, you will bet. Everybody will bet PDP will not lose. I'm not saying PDP will not lose Port Harcourt. There are some states that will not lose. Like
I'm not saying it's concrete. I am not saying it's concrete. I say my fear is that I'm not saying yes.
Don't have fear to just forget the fear. PDP will not lose Port Harcourt. Don't worry about that.
Don't say that. Amechi is not sleeping. There are so many interests at this point.
Amechi does not have a councillor in Port Harcourt.
Listen, but do you know even the PDP in Rivers State now has a crack already? The senators who are representing there are not with Wike.
It does not have a crack. It does not. PDP Port Harcourt does not. See, there are some states that the policy is very firm. They're just like Lagos, and you're saying that APC in Lagos is crack. People will laugh at you now. He's not
No,
cracked
APC,
anything.
that's not a good comparison. We know about APC in Lagos. We know about that one. And the man in charge of Lagos is not misbehaving at the same time.
So is Port
It's
Harcourt.
a good.
See, so is Port Harcourt. You may not like Wike outside. People inside Port Harcourt like Wike, and his group control Port Harcourt. So what are you saying now?
All right. Okay, round up your thoughts on that space. I think we're clear on where you stand, but round up your thoughts on that space, and then I'll move you on to the next one. Yeah.
As I said, the aim is just to throw the movement that is going on ahead on a week on the Atiku side of their game, and just pretty much noise that we are going to make for the whole weekend till next week again. So there's nothing there for me that I would say, oh, I don't take it serious at all. As I said, I stick to my gun. They are all clowns.
All right. So this next one is a not news. Mogalu from Anambra State endorses Peter Obi from Anambra State's candidacy after meeting. So really, what do we make of that? Does that come to you as a surprise?
I see Obasanjo at work. Apart from the fact that yes, he's an able man too, like himself. They are from the same region and all that. It makes sense, for him to support his brother. It makes sense. But this is Obasanjo at work. Nine boy. Anywhere you put it here, the signature is always there. But it's a good thing. Let's see how but what is it even bringing to the table anyway? At this point. Yeah, Morgan is actually gaining more. He's trying to keep his profile, on that national discussion. Keep going. Since he lost out at the other, at his own main party.
He adds more credence and more credibility to the weekend narrative because, of course, Mogalu has an established name within the Nigerian space. So if he adds his name to the Peter Obi narrative, then that enhances that narrative even more.
Yeah, but how much vote is he bringing? Because at this point how many votes he bring?
He doesn't have voters now. Mogalu
but at this point, if you are not bringing vote,
but he has a known and a respected name, so that just adds quality. Because at the moment you just dismiss Peter Obi as some crazy hypobians are running riot. But the more you have all these gold standard names associating with him, then it adds more veracity to the narrative.
Yes, but I don't think the other political party will fling at all just because Mogalu joined that thing. But as I said, it's good for especially that their constituency is predominantly youth, which he clearly appeal to. It is good, but it's not going to add any vote. At this point, if you are not adding any vote to any political party, what's the point? Is it going to be a good publicity stunt for the party? Maybe. But other than that, I don't see. I think he is the one gaining in this move. As far as I'm concerned, it's Mogalu that actually
what he adds, Ovie, is people giving consideration to Obi. Somebody like myself, for instance, who has always been a fan of Kingsley Mogalu. If he's endorsing Peter Obi, then I'm thinking somebody of the quality of Mogalu, why is he endorsing Peter Obi? Is there something that I have missed, etc., etc.? So he adds that element to it.
What you are missing is the Obasanjo factor. Because Obasanjo is seriously recruiting for that party. He even tried to recruit Daniel Bwala, a former APC spokesperson, now PDP spokesperson. He tried to recruit him, but the guy no fall for it. So Obasanjo is at work. I respect him for that. But for, as I said, in this particular move, what's his name? The new man that just joined as the opponent is more on his own side than the party. He will get more. His name will keep being on the news from now to now. That's what matters. As a young man who still has a very bright future ahead of him politically, it's a good move for him, but not necessary for the party.
All right, brilliant. So let me acknowledge Alexander's super chat before I move you on OVA. Alexander super chat to say, I have said it, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be the president-elect 2023. Everything is falling in place in his favor. The man is a master politician. So there is no, you see, I don't even want to say it because if I say it, it sounds almost like a tribal undertone. But all of the permutations only indicate a Tinubu presidency. However you choose to look at it, that is all the pathway leads to. But the only thing that might stop him is his health and mental difficulties. But we'll see how it
One
plays
man.
out. Yeah.
There's still much time. Oh. APC said will still start falling apart. Oh. It's not all well and done with the APC yet. Oh.
No,
It's not
but
complete.
APC is going through difficulties now. They are going through the Muslim ticket. They are going through the fallout against Tinubu, its health and all this stuff. There are all the Oshibanjo elements, the Aregbesola that is fighting him to nail. So all of these things are going on. So they are even going through. The drama in APC is actually tenfold the drama in PDP. PDP are only contending with Wike now. But APC, they are contending with just a plethora of so many difficulties. On top of that, you add the obedience, making up our stories all over the place and constituting a nuisance to the space.
If you pay attention to Sokoto, as at yesterday, 2 days ago, you see the map defection from APC to PDP.
Forget all that. That's the ebb and flow of politics. That's the ebb and flow of politics.
That's what I'm saying. That there's still much time. All these things they will still start falling apart. It's too early for.
No, but
But
they are already falling apart. They are hemorrhaging, but the center is holding.
We keep going until the eve of the election.
That's what I'm saying. Things can only get better for the PDP because the APC rather, because the APC has not really experienced a purple moment within this electoral cycle. It's been one mistake after. It's Shatima, it's Tinubu coming, it's the Muslim ticket, it is his health, it is his state of well-being, it is Buhari doesn't like him, it is El-Rufai plotting. It's Aregbesola stabbing, a where is Fashola's voice, so they've not experienced a purple moment yet.
These big parties will not have peace till the last day of the campaign. That's what I'm sure.
That has enjoyed the purple period is Peter Obi, who has just been going from church to church, kumbaya all over the place.
So okay, and it's a backflip to that too from the other side. We will say, okay, this is how it's going to run the country. So there's a lot of things that is going to surface as time goes on, because because again, by the time money will start flying around, people will start giving. So how come this particular region or this youth from this side, this women group gets also amount? Why are we getting also this? All those things will still come to play as time goes on. When the money aspect start playing out, because by the time they start sharing money, not individuals now, in groups. Why you go give Adamawa youth 40 million, you they give Edo youth 2 million, all those things will come to play, and that's why I say, especially these big parties, they will continue to have problem until the last day of the election. So, and that's where my own permutation will come in, that the election that is going to go second round, that is where I'm focusing on, because I know as time goes on, everything will start to be dismantled, that no one will lay claim that I'm going to get that 25% of 24 states. So it's just it's still early, but let the campaign train start first. That's another thing. And again, on that still Wike side, Wike has started seeing the light. I don't think it's even advised if nobody with his right sense will carry Wike on his campaign train. After all you have done from your own house, we started by his. Imagine how he started embarrassing his own chief. That way they call him small boy, just because he knew him before. That's where he started, and how does that resonate with other?
No. I know. I think you are misreading the Wike space. Wike is a bombastic, large, sort of cantankerous sort of element. That is his politics, and that is how people chose to accept him. So Wike is just speak it as I see it, just off the cuff of and often he gets it right. Instances he will get it wrong. But I think people like him for that straight talking bombasticness.
Yes, I respect Wike. Remember when he first make that state, every state should be connected to that. I praise him. I respect him to some extent. But
so is that sort of personality that leads to that?
But one thing we seems to not put into consideration, that the kind of society we live in, we are a very cultural society. However you want to see, however all these youth will they make noise reach. When the jungle mature, all those things will come to play, and that is why it's not healthy for you to put Wike on your campaign train. everywhere when he don't shoot put, how he go take campaign for them for you when you can't reach there. And that is what PDP is seeing. That's what Atiku is seeing, and that's what denying the vice presidency. It's going to play out as time goes, because now nobody wants to campaign on based on policies. We all know this. No, these people are not serious to be using the issue that really matter in terms of economy and other to campaign. They will not. They will use all these trivia and things that don't really matter, things that divide us by the day. That's what they are going to be using to campaign, which is unfortunate.
Let X0 interject, and then after that interjection, I'll go on to Kulata 4 times. It's a 2-hour session, but X0, come in.
Ovie, I just wanted to ask, in the whole of South, I heard somebody here saying the other day that in this election, it is the South that will determine the eventual winner of the election. That every other zone is a blocked zone.
I think that was Jan Lekoko's narrative.
Yes. So if it is the South, who is the leader of the South that can gear that block vote from the South to any of the leading parties? If it is not this weekend now.
For you to talk about who's the leader of the South, you have to put parties into consideration. You say in terms of PDP, who is the leader? In terms of APC, who is the leader? In terms of the Labour Party, who is the leader? In terms of the NNPP, who is the leader?
The PDP is dominating the South now. That's why.
He was dominating the South until Obi come into the picture.
Okay.
so whether we like it or not,
Obi has taken the South relevance, against relevance in the South.
So I think that's of course.
Okay, so let's look at what constitutes the South. Because we say this, and some of the audience might not be fully on board with what actually the composition is. Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross River, Delta, Edo, and River State. So River State, of course, Wike holds that. Edo State, Obaseki. I'm not sure who holds Bayelsa. Cross River. The one that Limpotic Blossom, Benayade, Limpotic Blossom and all this kind of. And then is Delta State notify Yokowa?
Yes.
No, yes. One man, Bayelsa, the Dixon, what's the name of that former governor?
Dixon
is the one holding Bayelsa, and it's on Wike's camp.
Now let's break it down one by one. Edo State, Obaseki cannot lay claim to Edo State because even the PDP in Edo State is cracked. One side is led by Dan Obi, is with Wike. We all know Obaseki is not with Wike. You will understand that. And again,
Obaseki is actually with Peter Obi from his body language.
So again, if you took the youth noise into consideration, if you anything to go by the noise over there, they will say they are with Labour Party. So it's very dicey when it comes to Edo State at this moment. But again, I think it's still too early for us to actually be apportioning these people the vote of that region to these people. It's still too very early. There's so much time. Campaign never even starts. As I said, money never started to roll in. Money will play a big factor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. One day, Edo State PDP or the crowd.
We can't.
Sorry.
We can't hear you.
Hold on.
I want to really move it on to Kulata. But make that point, and I want to move on to Kulata.
Yeah. Obaseki never owned Edo State PDP crowd, and PDP in Edo State is controlled by Dan Obi faction. That's all.
Not the whole PDP. Not the whole PDP. You can't take power of governorship lightly, whether you like it or not. Then you go see put small weight. It might not take the whole PDP in Edo State, but it will get some because of the power of
what I just said now. I said Obaseki only have the administration power, as in the government house there. Apart from that, Obaseki does not control any PDP. Apart from that, that's the problem he's having. That's why you want to move to Labour. If he controls the military.
If he's going to throw his weight against behind Atiku, then there's money that will play a large role. Money will flow in.
Not by money. Atiku Obaseki is worse than Peter Obi. Obaseki don't give shishi. We don't know.
That's why I say if you support Atiku will put money now. Who are they underestimate who Atiku be when it comes to money?
All right. No. So sorry. I must move on to. No. I want to move on to because I don't want it to run the session. So thank you, V. Let me come from your V to Kulata, who hopefully is ready to go.
Let me introduce a new section to your one-man show fitness morning show. That's what I'm doing here.
Look at this guy.
I don't think you are fit though.
Look at that. Are you detoxing from the ego session?
It's very orange.
Look at that. Is that not Guantanamo Bay clothing? Is this Guantanamo Bay?
I knew somebody going to say it.
Is that not Guantanamo Bay clothing? Look at that. What's going on? Are you being renditioned? Look at that.
Oh man.
Are you booked into some fitness spa thing? Because I see that you've been in that space for a while, swimming and whatever it is.
This place is just cheaper for me than to stay in a hotel. So I know I've been nomadic.
Yeah. So what sort of facility is it? It has
they call it Jet 2 Wellness Center. It has about 7 varieties of sauna halls.
But it has accommodation as well, Abi.
Yes, but it's not like a normal, like regular, like hotel accommodation because it's like a family center too. There are 2 parts to it. So yes, it's 24 hours there. Once you pay, it's 24 hours. But they make it normal. That's why they give everybody a cloth. So they don't want to come display. Don't display your richness or your wealth or anything.
All right. So they put you in orange jumper. So we know how Americans like to put people in orange jumpers.
So Najima, you see the gym section of it. You see the facility there.
How come you are the only one there? How come you are the only one there?
That's what I want to ask you.
Everybody, if you go there, people will mainly come here because of the sauna and the massage and all those other shenanigans. That's why people come here.
All right. Hopefully, there's no happy ending with that massage. But to Kulata. Kulata, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, but my network may switch quickly. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's have you for however long we can. Wike sues Atiku Tambuwal demands recognition as candidate. So there are several layers to this, but how are you unpeeling then this headline, Wike's lawsuit? Is denied it, of course, but wrap all of that together. Kulata.
Is mischief. It's just Wike being mischievous. I mean, is it a lawsuit that has merit? Because there's some there are lawsuits that kind of carry weight if there's something behind it, or Wike just trying to be unnecessarily litigious. So Wike is going to be a noisemaker.
You there? Hello?
I mean, Atiku will have to contend with the noise, but I don't think it's that much of a fractious issue because PDP by itself has already gone through a lot of issues. I think you guys were saying APC has more issues than PDP. I'm of a different opinion. I think APC has cracks. PDP has faults. The faults, PDP faults has kind of broken off like massive fault lines. I'm talking like geography speak here, because Peter Obi leaving PDP, that was a massive defection. So APC, we're still talking about like people just making noise here and there, being dissatisfied. But when you look at PDP, Peter Obi, Southeast, when someone has the ability to kind of like put up an entire region in doubt, then you know PDP has a massive crack. And then we're talking about South-South. Even South-South, Bielsa, remember that Bielsa election was actually won by APC candidate, but they disqualified that candidate because the deputy governor had, some issues with his qualification. So South-South itself is going to be up for grabs. So PDP still has the pole position there.
But South is a bit up for grabs because if APC could win that Bayelsa election, it means they have some voters nowadays. They do have some voters, but I mean, other states like Cross River and Akwa Ibom are going to be PDP. But Delta is going to be contested because there's some issues within PDP in Delta. Okowa's boy, I think there's some issues with accepting Okowa's boy and some disaffection with their godfather. What's the name of that Yoruba guy? Yoruba guy that got jailed in London. What's his name again? Whatever that guy's name is. So Ibori, thank you. So there are issues in Delta. So I think PDP has suffered their own like cracks. It's like a earthquake. Peter Obi defecting PDP. That was kind of like earthquake level fault lines we're talking about. And then we have Kwakwanso that a lot of his votes are going to be a lot of PDP. I mean, depending on if Buhari's voters want to stay loyal to Buhari, but Kwakwanso may do more damage for PDP if, like we all know, he's probably going to sell out and Obi will not like it. So that's how I see it.
What you are saying, Kulata, it actually ties in with what Deji Adeyonju is saying. Did you hear me? Let me just give it to you quick and sharp. Deji Adeyonju, a prominent political commentator on Friday, said Bola Tinubu, presidential flag bearer of the ruling All Progressives Congress, for the 2023 election will win the poll because the main opposition party, PDP, is not serious. Correspondents report that Tinubu, a former Lagos State governor, is one of the frontline candidates for next year's presidential poll. The 70-year-old has been in politics since 1992 and is recognized as a major player in the emergence of Buhari. He was up against the likes of okay, let me go to what he actually has to say. He says, my prediction remains that Tinubu will win the election in February because PDP is divided into 4 unserious branches. So these are the branches that Deji Adeyonju identified, Kulata. The first one is articulated. The second one is obedient. The third one is Kwansiya. And the fourth one is controversy branch, pro-Wike, he wrote on his verified Twitter handle. So that seems to chime with what you're saying, Kulata.
Oh, looks like essentially we're kind of saying the same thing. Wow, for Deji Adeyonju, I can't stand that guy.
Yam head.
But it looks like we're saying the same thing because Wike is a crack, is just like a boil, is an annoyance.
Kulata, how would Kwakwaso mess up PDP?
I put a caveat. I put a caveat there. Like if Buhari can keep his voters, then Kwakwanko's impact is more to PDP than APC. That's if Buhari can still keep his loyal voters. And that's a big if. Because if Buhari, the people that vote Buhari, they're not voters, they're worshippers. They damn whatever is happening to them. I mean, imagine one of the people that got captured in that train, that was kidnapped in that train attack, came out from that incident and was still like putting his loyalty to Buhari. Like you just went through that kind of like that kind of like devastating issue, a personal omen in his life, and he came out of there less than a week and he's still pleading fealty to Buhari. Is that normal? That's not normal now. I mean, under Buhari's leadership, you got kidnapped. Oh, God knows how many millions your family paid. And he's coming out of that and saying he's still a Buhari voter. So if Buhari still has a say in this election, Kwakwanso cannot make a dent it's not going to make a significant dent in APC. It's more going to like bloody up Atiku. And that's why I think it's more attractive for Tinubu now to just make one big deal to buy off Kwakwanso. Even Kwakwanso disciple on this platform, OVA, already gave us the hint that Kwakwanso is a dealer. OVA said Kwakwanso sold the northern candidates to Wike. OVA said it himself. So OVA knows his principle. He knows the nature of his principle, that the man is willing and dealing. So with the fractions, with the fault lines in PDP that are called different party names, Labour Party, PDP, and then MPP or whatever there is, with those fault lines, a smart man like Tinubu just has to make a very, very sound investment. Buy off Kwakwanso, prop up OB in the southeast and the south-south, win the elections. Done. That's all. Just 2 strategic moves. Keep OB competitive in his own base. I don't think he needs a lot of effort to do that in the southeast. I think he needs a slight effort to make OB competitive in the south-south. Then just make sure you buy Kwakwanso, give him whatever he needs. Tinubu has won the election on the first, the first, there's not going to be 2 rounds if he does that.
Yes. Anyway, let me not say it, but I am of the thought that all of the permutations leads to a Tinubu presidency. This is just how, but it may well change, of course. You know, as they say, politics is dynamic. But
if you want to go by your narrative now, it sounds to me that Kwakwanso is more ticked toward the PDP than APC. So if you work with Wike for Wike to get more delegates from PDP in the primary, so it's more on the side of PDP than APC.
Okay, let me give you another spin. Okay, Ajan Lekoko, put yourself in Kwakwanso's shoes. The man has an ambition to be president, right? If he invests in PDP and Atiku wins, let's say Atiku does 4 years. After that 4 years, the South that got robbed in PDP will scream bloody murder, and they will not let a Kwakwanso be their flag bearer. But if he invests in APC and Tinubu does 4 years, he has to duke it out with Shettima. He stands a better chance of duking it out with Shettima and winning in APC if he joins APC. So look at it from his own personal ambition. He's not going to get anything in 2023. He stands a good chance in 2027. And if he's going to make a smart move, if I was him making a smart move, I will collect Tinubu's money to be able to compete in 2027. It's very simple.
It doesn't work like that.
It's not. It is chances. These are not given. These are odds. It's like you're going to Vegas to bet. If you're going to Vegas to bet, you kind of like look at the odds. Which odds improves my chances? Which one doesn't improve my chances? Nothing is a given. Nothing is certain. But you need to think about it in odds.
You forget there's what they call payback time. When I said Konkozo was instrumental in coordinating the PDP delegate for
you're gonna try and give it some like
no. So with all this antic that Wike is doing, which you believe that Wike will not work for Atiku, who do you think is gonna work for?
Look,
and you think to believe that, listen now,
is not going to work for Kwakwanso. Let's keep it serious now.
You've called your guy. You called your guy a dealer.
Let me make my point.
You said it. I did. You said it, and I extrapolated from it. You called your guy a dealer. He deals in votes, and he's going to sell his votes.
Which is okay. But to tell you that Konkoso will collapse his structure for anybody, it's still a dream.
It's going to be tactical support. They know how they do these things. I mean, you and I
remember what I said. If that happens, I would become
you will go obedient, and it still will not matter if you go obedient. It won't matter.
Okay. Ovie, humor that narrative for a moment that Kwakwanso collapses his structure for somebody. Who do you think, if that was the case, he would collapse his structure for?
I don't know. Is you guys that actually permutated that? I don't know where you guys sit down.
I'm saying humor that for a moment. If you humored that for a moment, who do you think is likely to collapse that structure for?
You mean one man if the election go into rerun, or what are you talking about?
No. I'm actually saying before the elections take place.
No, that's not gonna happen. Forget about it. It's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
It's not a usual election, me and you know. There's going to be a second round election. It is going to be. That is where Konkoso is working towards, though. That's why you see he's not making noise. He's doing the groundwork in the north space so that when he come out the top and the north, there is waiting for his come up meeting to run the second election.
All right. But back to Kulata for time. Kulata, back to you. Round off your thoughts on that. Bring it home. And
Yeah,
then
let's move on to another
Yeah.
one. I have a few minutes. Yeah.
All right. Let me take you to Kingsley Mogalu endorsing Peter Obi. Kale surprise. Did that catch you off guard?
No, why would he catch me off guard? Like, what is Kingsley Mogalu supposed to say he endorses Atiku or Tinubu? I mean, it doesn't catch me off guard, and it's not news. It's not. I don't think it's newsworthy because Kingsley Mogalu, how many votes did he get in the last election? He probably got less than Omoyele. Even though I was supporting him in last election, that was my candidate's last election. So he has no electoral value. He has intellectual value. I mean, for the people that are intellectually inclined, it gives them pause to look at OB. But if you're intellectually inclined and you're curious, that means you will scrutinize OB's records closer, and then you will see it's a lot of bullshit. So I'm not so sure it's neither here nor there. It's just a footnote. A footnote for today. That's it.
Okay, I broadly agree with you. In fact, I totally agree with you because I have always been I've always had time for Kingsley Mogalu. So if he endorses Peter Obi, like you said, it will pause me for a moment to reflect, only to continue then that the Obi narrative is not really something.
Obi narrative is not on solid grounds. It is very fickle. That's what I'll say because it's a lot of pie in the sky.
It was quite fantastic, wasn't it?
You have to live in the clouds. You have to live in the clouds to kind of like do all those things he's saying. Well, it's nice to be able to romance your thoughts and say, let's move on.
All right, let's move on. But before we move on, let's acknowledge Alexander Gomez's super chat, who super chats only to delight in the way you are presenting. It says, Kulata, geez, did you make a first class? You are brilliant most times. I am proud of you and your articulated brilliance. So I'm pretty sure that Kulata did not make his first class. So it sounds like somebody that was always in the bar with a babe. You know, so thank you for the super chat, Alexander. As I move you on, this is a throwback, Kulata. How we paid terrorists from Niger, Cameroon, Chad, others to stop killing in Kaduna. So we are bringing this headline back from 2016 when El-Rufai purports that he paid these Fulanis to stop the killings in his own home state. So should he demand then a refund, the little man from Kaduna?
They gave them a tactical endorsement. When you pay a man money for something that is not his work or his volition, you're giving the man an excuse to perpetuate whatever he did to get that money. And we're seeing the result. Because if, as a Fulani herder, this is your pure economics. If I'm getting 1,000 a day or 500 naira a day for herding cows in all sorts of torturous conditions, and then for one, by act of God or happenstance or something, there's this skirmish and the government pays me millions of naira just to placate me for the skirmish, then why will I not make that skirmish a way of life so I can get paid more? So whenever they say do not negotiate with terrorists, you may think it like, oh, this is just like some phrase that it sounds good, but it's not reasonable. But I think there's some wisdom to it, because if you pay these people, regardless of whatever, if you pay them, they're not going to forget how they got paid. They're only going to think of what more loopholes or how much more can they exploit the situation. And that is where we find ourselves, where we are. Because even look at it, if you extend it back to the genesis of this, Yaradua paying off the Niger Delta. Yeah, everybody thought, okay, that was a good thing to do and all whatnot. But when you look at where we are today, the bunkering hasn't stopped. is now even expanded, escalated. And so the place is still restive. So at the end of the day, we gained nothing. You did not fix the problem. You just put a bandage into you put a bandage on gangrene.
What would Yaradua have done? What would he have done?
He needed to have come. I mean, this is leadership. There's no simple way, so I can't just kind of like summarize it in like
give me
seconds.
an idea what he would have done.
There had to be sincerity of purpose. I think since the bottom line should have been sincerity of purpose in developing that area. Like, not, I mean, and also following it through. They put a lot of money there to try and develop it, let's not lie. But I think they should have executed projects there. They should have like channeled, they should have like looked for one or two places to build up those places to be like the next Lagos of Nigeria. Even though they tried, it's not like they did not put money there.
Delta Development
I know, that's what I'm saying. That they tried. We're saying the same thing. I said they tried, but it wasn't well executed. They could have tried.
That one is different. It's different from what Yaradua did because
he paid them off.
Yeah, what he did was different. The situation with Niger Delta Avengers guy, they brought down the oil production in that sector, and our revenue went
they brought
down
it to his
drastically.
Knees. Yes, they
brought
it to his they did.
He has to do something. He has to do something quick so that we can get we can start lifting the oil and stabilize the economy.
But at the end of the day, the output we have right now is as good as the output we had when the Niger.
But he achieved the result. He achieved the goal that he wanted to achieve.
That was a Pyrrhic victory. It was just Pyrrhic. You didn't win. You won a battle. You did not win the war.
He actually achieved the goal that he was looking for as at that point in time. So,
but what I'm saying is, it did not solve the problem.
But I ask you now, what would he have done different? You don't even have the idea what he would have done.
I can't give you a short answer in a matter of seconds now.
No, but he could have taken a more difficult route and gone through with the military option to use the weight of the state to cross.
That was already done. It was not working. Those guys knows that terrain better than Nigerian military.
Whatever I would have done,
tried the military action, it couldn't work. And so they have to go into negotiation. And this is democracy. You understand?
Listen, whatever he did, did not work. We're doing Monday morning quarterbacking.
What you have happening now is different from what was happening then. What you have happening now is official looting.
Because those boys got smarter.
Official looting. But those guys are not the one carrying out the looting now. This is official cartel looting. That resource is there now.
This is what I will say. You do not, in as much as cliche as it may sound, I think on the long run, it's better not to negotiate with terrorists. And I think that's what Kaduna is suffering because of that payment, even though they thought they were fixing the problem. But look at where we are now.
I broadly agree with you.
Those guys were not terrorists.
Let him just follow through for time. But that's his own opinion. But carry on now. But I broadly agree with you as well because if you negotiate with them, one, it's not going to stop the terrorism. And I think whatever money that he gave them then, we are seeing the impact now in what is still going on in Kaduna. So it solved nothing.
It solved nothing.
Can I make a point before I will let you go?
But guys, I need to move on to the next year. I need to go. I am 3 minutes late.
All right. Thank you, Kulata. Join us later. I think people want to hear more from you. But so that's Kulata who's had to leave for important matters. So make that point, Ajale Koko, and then I'll go on to Saki.
Those guys were not terrorists. You can't describe them as terrorists because they were known. They showed up, their faces, They are not like this one that are killing incessantly, taking land and killing people. Those ones were fighting against environmental degradation of their land by the government and the oil industry that were operating on their land. That was what they were fighting against. And they brought that production to a halt. And government negotiated with them and agree on certain things with them, and everything went back to normal. They knew them. The people in the community knew them, and everything was settled, and everybody went away, and everything went back to normal. Unlike these people that you don't even know them. You don't even know what they are fighting for. What are these guys fighting for? The terrorists killing people, what are they fighting for? They are just fighting to kill and make money. That's it. But the Niger Delta, they are fighting for the protection of their homeland. That was what they are fighting for. And for neglection, you're making money, taking their resources, you neglected them, and they say, no, you have to put a stop to this. And government went into negotiation that, hey, let us sit down, and they achieve results. So that you can't describe them as, they are not terrorists. We'd be wrong to be describing them as terrorists. That's what I just want to make.
All right, brilliant. So let's go on to Saki. So Saki, you're up next, and to this space, Wike's lawsuit. Saki. Saki Father, as Aizon likes to sing. Do you want Aizon to come and sing for you? All right, we don't appear to have Saki. So let's go on from Saki to let's go to. Do we have you or no, Saki?
I think he have problem with his audio or something.
Yes, clearly. Let's go on to Ahizon for time. So Ahizon, well, you're up. You're up. To the Wike lawsuit.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, we can now. So yeah, back to you, Saki. So to the Wike lawsuit, your thoughts?
All right. Good day, everyone. And to the listeners, please like, share, and subscribe to this wonderful platform. Very educative and cerebral. Yeah, on the issue of Wike, I think it's a mere distraction. It's a mere distraction. It's not gonna hold any waters at the end of the day. But I think he's doing those things to, if it is actually true that he's doing those things, I think he's trying to like push to like incentivize Atiku and the likes to a desired action he wants to get from them. So, but what I know is that at the end of the day, he's not gonna hold much waters. I advise him to remain resolute, to remain committed to PDP. He doesn't need to decamp from PDP. He doesn't need to go anywhere. If he discount from PDP to any other place, it's going to affect his political value, especially from his people in Rivers. He might run into the danger of making the same mistake that this guy, man, what's the name? The guy from Rivers again. What's the name?
Wike.
No, the other guy. Amechia. He might.
Sorry, Amechi rather.
Yeah, he might run into such level of irrelevance in the political space in Rivers. So I will advise him to remain resolute, to keep to his ideals. He has preached in the past that nothing will make him leave PDP. He should just stand in there. But the confusion he's trying to create, very soon a lot of people will start taking him so seriously. So I think he's now overdoing. He's overdoing. He has been his clownish attitude. In this electoral cycle. It's gone to a level that is becoming unbearable and beyond this elastic limit.
Do you think the PDP and Atiku, they will cede to that space and just give him Ayu? Because a lot of people, they are after Ayu's head, And how you said now, it's now become a bit of an atrocious space within the PDP.
I don't think
The South wants his head.
I don't think Atiku would do that. I don't think they would do that. But if I am the one, you know, if I'm the one, I would do it just to show that leadership quality. You know that you are someone that listens to the cries of the greater populace. You know, and again to ensure fairness and equity. I would do that if I'm the one. But I don't think someone like Atiku will like to dance to that too, because of the fact that he might not want it to be seen as the public that Wike is the one that is calling the
Because
two.
it will be a show of weakness, Abby. He thinks it will
Yes,
show weakness.
yeah,
Do,
yes, yeah.
do,
But
do
if,
you
but
think?
if I'm
Do,
the one, that is what I would just succumb for peace to reign. If I'm
do
the
you
one.
think do you think Atiku is mismanaging leadership? Because I'm citing two instances of the Deborah tweets that he withdrew and how he seems to clearly be mismanaging the wicked space.
I think that this is the time he needs to show leadership. This is the time he needs to show that he has the quality to sacrifice. Even when it doesn't suit him. But from the way I see him, I know he's not gonna do that. Just like Uvia said, the issue of Ayo, nothing is gonna come out of that. I think Atiku is still displaying a leadership quality that shows a subordinate relationship.
But is that an old style sort of leadership?
Yeah, that's that's
Yeah.
that's that's an old style of leadership. But what do you expect from those old political actors? You still have to expect such uh, old style. But for me, if I'm the one, I would just make peace to reign and ensure equity. Because he who goes to equity must always come with clean hands. So if I'm the one, I have to just try to let a lot of things lie and dance to the two, dance cheapishly and become a fool, so that I will gather more votes. But maybe I know what he might be considering now is what I said. How can it be seen by the public that he's dancing to the dictates of Wike?
You, you know,
Someone like
you,
this.
you know,
So
Saki Father, what I am identifying with Atiku, just in this space that is under the spotlight, is that he doesn't actually have all the traits of a leadership that you would expect. Because leadership, decision making sometimes is based on a consensus, and then because you use the soundings of others to know the best space to place a decision. That's how leaders usually make decisions. That when they say carry people along, that's what it means. So you take your self-interest, gather the thoughts of our people that are of influence within that sphere, and then you make a decision wrapped around all of that. But we don't see that within Atiku. Atiku seems to think that to be a leader is to be lord and master and to lord it over people. So I don't think this guy actually. I'm seeing that he might not necessarily have the requisites for what he aspires to.
yeah, so that is the way I also see that. I see a kind of pride, pomposity, and every sense of stubbornness, towards bending to whims and caprices of the likes of Wike. That is what I see from the camp of Atiku. Then on the side of Wike, I see him as he's trying everything possible to like create sort of confusion. But I think at this point, I will advise him to stop because he's already within the elastic limit. If he goes beyond this point, people are no longer to take him like so serious. People we just like a lot of us on this platform. We have already started like saying Wike is too much. He should go and rest. He should go. So
How many
that,
of you people? How many of you people on the platform?
yeah, I think I've had people saying
Who now? Names
we
now.
no, not you, but
No,
I've had
I'm one of them. I'm starting to tire of the wicked narrative. It
so
needs to
yeah.
it needs to land somewhere because it's occupying too much of the headlines unnecessarily. We want to talk about the candidates and what they have to offer us, not aggrieved person that feels jilted.
Yeah, so that's the way I also see it. But if I were Atiku, if you ask me to go to him and say, Atiku, this is what I think you should do, I would just tell him, why don't you let the dogs lie and you try and calm down, and okay, this is the problem. They say this, are you okay? Are you please leave? Let's have a Sultana for basis of equity and for purpose of trying to show that I'm a leader that listens. Yeah, it will still increase his value, especially in the southern part of Nigeria. So by so doing, I think the Oracle of Delphi let us know that the best way to know is to claim ignorance. Humility is very important, very key to leadership. So that is what I feel he's gonna do. So if I'm the one, that is what I would do. you
Oh,
know
oh,
so
all right, so, okay. Let me move on from there. Mogalu endorses Peter Obi's candidacy after meeting, so it's not really. Bulata described it
yeah,
as a
I
yeah.
don't want to spend much time on that because it is not something that is surprising. It is I don't think it is what we should uh, bring here as a
Oh,
topic for
oh, oh, oh,
discussion
oh, oh,
because
oh, oh.
it's not surprising.
All right, let
you
me take
know
you to another space. How
but
we put go on.
where I wanted to comment is on the perspective everybody is taking at this moment and up till this point about the analysis of the outcome of this 2023 election.
Right.
And I will say that most of us here we are still taking traditional view of the Nigerian politics. Traditional view of the Nigerian politics. I will tell you that 2023 is gonna be a contemporary view of Nigerian politics. So if we are still taking the traditional view in this contemporary space, I'm sorry that there is every tendency that, you know, we might be making mistakes. So nobody can beat up the chest and come to this place and say, just like Alexander Gomez dropped, that that Tinubu is going to be the president of 2023. And nobody will come to this place and beat up the chest and say it's going to be Atiku or Kwankwaso or anybody. Just like Ovie said, it's going to be an election that we don't know what will come out of it. I think it's going to be the first of its kind in the Nigerian polity. And then again, another mistake we are making in our traditional view of the Nigerian politics. In the traditional view, in the traditional sense, politics have been based, largely determined by who is the arrowhead in the state, who is the governor of the state. Is he a PDP governor? If he's a PDP governor, there is every tendency that PDP is going to win in that very state. This is traditional view, you know, and that is the analysis we gave here. Who is the governor of Rivers? It is Wike. Therefore, Wike is going to deliver for the presidency. Who is this one of Bayelsa? It is this. So this is just the traditional view. What I'm telling you that what I am seeing in this election, I'm seeing some measures of independence from from a greater chunk of the electoral mass. I'm seeing some level of independence that is generated or that is awakened by the recent enlightenment, by the recent recognition that, oh, my vote actually counts. Oh, my vote is not gonna be determined by somebody. It is me. And again, by the fact that the new electoral law, you know, has really introduced a kind of narrative in the political space. You know, we saw it in Osun State. If we are going by traditional, what we call it, traditional view of politics, would have expected that APC will still carry the day in Osun State. You know, so and it is very good. It is very good. I even like it when we still see it from that traditional view. And why we are seeing it from that traditional view, political strategists that newly came in this space will just be working on the background, knowing fully well that a lot of people are still, taking this traditional view, and they will just be laughing and be working on the backgrounds. You know, at the end of the 2023, there might be possibility to see a shocker we have never seen before. I'm not saying it's gonna be Obi. It could be Kwankwaso. It could be Atiku. I'm not saying that Atiku is going to get aware of it. All permutations we are making now is that Atiku is going to lose. At the end of the day, it's possible it's gonna be Atiku, and we'll be surprised.
Are you with the people saying that this election likely to go to a rerun?
I don't know. The election defies every suspicion, every explanation. It is not what I'm going to analyze systematically. But then, while we are making this traditional view, I want to advise Nigerian public, those that are watching on this platform. I want to advise everybody, and I want to borrow the words of Professor Akinwale. He said, "We live at a time when we are terrorized by hunger. And hunger, therefore, makes some of us succumb to the temptation to sell our votes at the polls to the same people who allow hunger and bandits to terrorize us. When we do this, we then fall into a hunger induced temptation of vote buying and selling. We, the terrorized, therefore enter into a strange alliance with the same terrorists. A people that suffers untold deprivation as a result of bad governance are deformed by hunger to the point where the terrorists and the terrorized begin to look like identical twins. 4. To sell my votes is to become a terrorist. I'm advising the public.
Abba, take it easy now. An angry man is an angry man. Oh, man.
I'm advising the public. I'm advising the
Terrorist,
public.
Abba, you were doing so well until you got there.
I'm, advi- I'm advising the public that is watching, because the essence of this platform is to enlighten people and then make them aware of what is happening in the political space, and then incentivize them towards taking the right actions. So I'm advising them to always bear this in mind and let them be guided by these very thoughts for this 2023, so that we make a very better Nigeria. Then on the space where they talked about people that are paying terrorists, I think that was the space you wanted to come in before.
Yeah, briefly on that.
Yeah, just briefly, so that you go to another person. Yeah, I heard what Kulata said. I don't want what Yaradua did in the Niger Delta. I think the amnesty program he did, that one is rationalized on every moral, ethical angles. What the Niger Delta people, they have reasons to fight. They are fighting for a very good cause. But then the other side, the terrorists, I would not encourage the government by any standard to settle them as a short-term solution to this very terrorism. I will not, because we are seeing the results. Because if you settle them, they will use the money, and at the end of the day, they will come back and re-strategize so that they will still get more money. It's becoming a business to them. And again, what are they fighting for? Do they have any reasons to fight? They don't have any reason. So the only thing I will say is that I'm blaming the government for not being able to nip this at the board, in the very board when it was like when it started newly, for allowing it to degenerate to this very level, you know, at the very point where they don't even know what to do again, you know. So that is what I would have blamed. I would have like advised. I would have like said that they should have tackled this problem head on right from when it was still small, you know, because they just allowed it to grow to this very space, you know. But telling me that maybe we should settle them and so that they will calm down, I will never support that, you know. I will never. I will follow this guy on that grounds. El-Rufai. El-Rufai has continually said that government should not pay terrorists for any reason, you know. So I will not like tell the Nigerian government to succumb to the extent of paying terrorists. I will not. That's my take there. But what Yaradua did in Niger Delta, it's a very fantastic move. That is what he needed to do, because Niger Delta people, they have reasons, you know, to fight. You cannot come from the north and come to Niger Delta and say the oil is our oil. Why can't our cattle in the north be nationalized? Why can't our farms in the north be nationalized? Why is it oil that they will say you come to Niger Delta and say that their oil is a national mineral? Make our cows in the north also national mineral. You know, so you can't compare the two at all, honestly. So that's my point there.
All right. Thank you, Saki. So thank you, Saki. So let me go from you, Saki, for reasons of time. Let me go to Hizon, who hopefully still with us now, going under the name of Machala. So Machala Hizon, not sorry, not Hizon, but sorry, X0. You see, you're confusing me, X0, with this
Well,
other.
you are used to leaving me in the background, so I'm used to stay lying fallow now. I just been
Line follow. Who can leave you in the back? It's not possible now.
no,
Go on.
these days you only like to pick at me on Instagram.
Yeah, no, this is it. You're quite active there, flexing muscles and talking. Are you so? Are you a promoter? Because I
Yeah,
see you do. Yeah,
yeah, but I
okay.
told you now. I said I run things over here in Sweden.
Oh,
All
oh,
the
oh,
parties, all the events, I run them, and I
all
also
right.
do a lot of broadcasting today.
All right, brilliant. So maybe I'll come to Sweden to come and have some drinks with you
Yeah,
one
you
of
do
these
that.
days.
You do that.
All right. So to the politics of it then. Now, Wike sues
Esiro,
Tambuwal as
sorry, Esiro, where are you?
I'm in Sweden.
Oh, which part of Sweden?
I'm actually in Stockholm, and I'm in the middle of
Oh,
Sweden too because I roam around because of all the celebs here.
okay.
What's your Instagram handle?
Just go to Afro Community _now.
Afro Community _ now. All right.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
all
And then
right.
follow me on YouTube too. Yeah, what are you saying?
No, yeah, if it's the ego dealer in Sweden, he's the one that is the go-to
No,
man.
I
Eh?
don't do drugs.
One
Eh?
man.
Eh?
Yeah, we are all civilians here.
But you handle celebrities now, and they are notorious drug takers. So
No, what I mean by celebrities, I mean our local Afro celebs. Yeah,
I know
follow us.
now. I know
Yeah.
now. When they come, they want to smoke ego before they go on stage.
No, not that kind of
One
issue.
man.
I do events. I cover events, and that's what you see on my YouTube page. On my YouTube.
All right, brilliant. So Wike sues Atiku Tambuwal demands recognition as candidate. So what are you then making of this lawsuit? What do you think his actual intentions are?
To be honest with you, when I saw that story, I sort of had my doubts because Wike has been in the habit of denying everything. He will tell you to speak when the time comes. The way he normally speaks and leaves the last word for you to complete it. You know, he's not clear about his stance, but we can see that he's not happy. That's what we can all tell. He's not happy. I'm just trying to be analytical with the situation. From my own analysis, I see that he's It's people around him. You know, he has everybody around him, all the lawyers, the ones that will push things for him, even the street guys. So I think those ones in the legal department, they are telling him these are the possibilities, these are ways to, get your relevance in the scheme of things so that you are not left out. Because what I think is happening is the gradual, if you want to scheme a person like Wike out, you scheme it out gradually so that it doesn't burst into a flame that would just consume everybody and the whole house is shattered, because Atiku picking a man like the Delta State governor when there is Wike, there's a slap to the house, and no, I said this here one time that Atiku will not pick Wike because Wike is like Atiku. Is an alpha in the party, and it's not going to go well. It's going to be like Obasanjo Atiku. Wike will rebel because he cannot hold his anger. If he doesn't rebel directly, he will say it under, and he will make trouble in the house. And that's Atiku was right. He chose a more, calmer, a person that is amenable to those kind of situations, that will keep quiet and obey without complaining. And that's what they got in the Delta State government. So I think Wike underground is just scheming for relevance, trying to see where it's going to go. But the difficult thing in this whole scenario is that he cannot go into APC because he will never, I will tell you for a fact, he will never bow to Amechi. And Amechi, if he goes to APC, and by virtue of Amechi's position in APC, Amechi becomes his superior and becomes...
No, Amechi's position in the APC is diminished.
No, but he's still going to be the leader of Cross River APC. That's the way it is.
But if Wike crosses over, he will go above Amechi in the APC.
I don't think that's how it runs. Go and watch the history of Nigerian politics. They always use people who are paid. Don't forget
Amechi is dead and buried.
Amechi's money made Buhari president. Amechi's money foisted APC on Nigeria. So don't underestimate what. And these people, this clique of bandits, they have a way of remembering what they do for each other. They have a way of compensating themselves. That's one thing you look at. Tinubu has become the candidate of the party because of what all he has been doing. So I don't think Amechi will cross over to APC. What I think he will do is he will frustrate PDP in Rivers State. The only likely party that might get his support is the Labour Party. He is capable of making any party the leading party in that state, so that he can retain his relevance, and then nobody comes in to be poking him and be taking him to jail because definitely he has been there for 8 years. Definitely there must be some form of mismanagement or misappropriation or impropriety somewhere or the other, and he doesn't want that. So he wants to have a soft landing for himself.
All right, brilliant. All right, brilliant. I'll take you to one more, but a quick commentary on this. For the benefit of the audience, by the way, Ovie is not having an epileptic convulsion. He's pretending to be doing exercise. So that's what it is. All those gyrating is pretending to be doing exercise. But back to you. I was only joking, by the way, Ovie, before you start to moan and cry. So back to you, Hizon. What Mama call you Hizon is you change your name. You say, why the name change, by the way, X0?
Just for a change.
All right.
Because I see that you are putting me that X0 name has become like the synonym I publish name to you, so I have to change.
Look at that. What Machala sounds South African somewhat.
You don't know Machala? Whiskey, Papa.
How would somebody like me know? I stopped listening to music. Fela Kuti. That was the last music I did. Fela Kuti. Yeah.
That's the new music.
All right. So Mogalu endorses Peter Obi's candidacy after meeting. A lot of people are asking why I'm even bringing this up. So no surprises there.
No. It's a good story. It's a good story. I don't let people deceive you that Mogalu did this.
Yeah, Mogalu from Anambra endorsing
Yeah.
Peter Obi from Anambra. What is
Yeah,
the news?
Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you the angle to it. That is not no. You see, Mogalu endorsing Peter Obi. It's not because they are both Igbos. No, Igbos are not known to support each other at the top like that. They always there's this saying in Igbo that there's no leader.
No, you have to say it in Igbo first because that's what
Igbo
we
Enweze.
usually get.
Igbo Enweze. That's the true nature of the Igbo man. He's a democratic man. He believes in. Look, if you are coming to take my crown, or if you come to take the crown, we will fire you from all cylinder, and you have to be pure all the time. One mistake, we are bringing you down. We are putting somebody there who has no ish. You understand? Don't forget that when Obi was campaigning with his early points of his campaign, that he took Anambra he invested for Anambra State. It was the man in Anambra State, the current governor, that came out and said, look, the 12 billion you said the money is up to now, the money is actually 3 billion. You understand? They said he invested 5 billion or something, and the money has grown to 12 billion. But the Anambra governor now, Soludo, instead of covering up for his brother, he said, no, the money has diminished to 3 billion. So, they are not known to, and that is where the Igbo man has to improve on. Because every other tribe, they are covering for each other. But the Igbo man doesn't cover for his brother. So when Mogalu started supporting Peter Obi, I think, for me, one, because he couldn't get the party candidacy of that is party. Imagine, that is a party that he lost. He actually lost the candidate.
YPP. That was YPP.
Can you imagine? So it means, and then now he has seen that the only other common sense thing to do is to support the candidate that drives the vision that every enlightened person can follow. I don't expect him to support Tinubu. I don't expect him to support Atiku or Pakwanso. So I think it was the only natural thing to do, since he couldn't get his party flag. So that's just it. Not because he's an Igbo man, no. A lot of people who support Obi, there's one thing synonymous with them. It is the issue-based politics. That's why they're supporting. Everybody cannot gain from APC. Everybody cannot gain from NMPC or NMPP. Everybody cannot gain from PDP. There must be some free people who have been displaced. They will find the only thing they are supporting Peter Obi, because Peter Obi has no money to give. He has no deals to grant you. The only reason
it doesn't have shishi.
Zero. What is the issue base in Peter Obi who doesn't have plan? What is the issue base in that? A man that have not released his plan on how he want to direct the affairs of the country if elected.
There are some things that, like I told somebody in the past, I said, even if a goat was president.
Answer the question now. Where is the issue based in somebody that have no plan? What's the issue based in?
I'm telling you now. Let's not get into that. I told somebody, even if a goat handles Nigeria will progress. As long as that goat is not a thief. The other two or the other three we know their history. Peter Obi's plan was in sync with the Labour plan. And the Labour is about jobs, production. And that is the simple logic that the man used. And from his movement, from going to see what they're doing in Egypt in terms of increasing their power supply and all his movement, it just plays along with the idea of increasing jobs. Not even, it's even coming in this current time where the labor is going on strike, schools are on strike, and everything. So he plays, so his politics is about production. That's just it. You might come into some place, but just a few sentences, people can tell. We are humans. We can discern who is making sense. Tinubu, on the other hand, has been every opportunity he has was to say Agbado and cassava. Atiku was remembered for saying that he will make his friends rich. Kwakwanso is too one-state minded.
And Peter Obi is remembered for the Pandora Papers.
Let me speak because it's my floor. Peter Obi is not known for his production capacity, issue-based rhetorics, and that is why a lot of people are falling in line because he does not have money to give. If you work hard for your money, you will not want to throw it away into a politics that might disappoint you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Peter Obi is not here to be your president because whether it behoves on you, if you want to change your country, you vote the right space. But if you don't want to change the country, you are poorer than him. He's richer
Where
than him.
is the plan to achieve that production and what else is he talking? Production and
consumption.
Consumption. Where is the plan? Where is the plan? We want to see the plan.
You have not followed Obi very well because if you have followed him,
no, let us see the plan on paper. There must be a plan, to follow to achieve your goal. Where is the plan?
If you watch,
why can't you just follow somebody on a mere word of mouth? It's not done like that in anywhere that democracy work. You shouldn't be promoting what is unpromotable. This thing is based on tribal.
Let's
Let us just say it like that. Or we don't know what we are doing. It's either one of it. It's either you don't. The people supporting him are just follow, or they don't know how politics works. You have to tell us the plan. We have to see the plan before we actually know from what step to the other you want to achieve your plan. When we don't see that, then it's just a mere talk that can't work. It can't work. You want to govern a 200 million population, an economy that is regarded as the number one economy in Africa, and you don't have plan for the people to show to the people that this is the direction I want to take you. I mean, what is it?
As long as you are not yet the president of Nigeria, everything you say is through your mouth. You understand? And we can still doubt anybody, even when Jesus Christ came to this world, they killed him. So what am I saying? I'm not saying that Peter Obi is an angel or definitely he must change Nigeria if he gets him. No. What I'm saying is his rhetorics is what makes people who follow him. It's not because of money. That's what I'm simply saying. That it is what he spews that makes people follow him.
But what Ajanle Koko is pushing you at with is actually that rhetoric space, because what Ajanle Koko is saying to you is that Peter Obi's push is long on rhetorics but short on substance, and is asking you where the substance is, and this is where a lot of people are asking that question. So yes, very long on rhetoric and very inspirational in speaking, but where is the substance? Where is the substance? Where is the pedigree? So this is really where the push is.
Well, like I said before, everything you plan to do, don't forget that this is Nigeria. Sowore made that mistake before and he realized it. Sowore came and said,
No. Sowore never made. Sowore have plan.
Let me finish.
You can see the plan of Sowore in white and black, clearly online. Everything is available. Sowore never made that mistake. Sowore never based his pursuit for that position on rhetoric. He have the plan. The plan is available. We have read it. Very good, very, very good plan.
If I may, X0, some things, listen, I'm a Peter Obi guy too, but some things you don't try to defend, right? You just say, hey, okay, let's give him time, let him come out with the information. But it's a valid criticism. Let's not datify this man. Let's not try to make him.
I'm not going that angle. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The question asked to me was what I was answering. I said, you can attest to it that this is a man who is not giving money. So people who are coming to him are not coming because
is he a man that is not giving money, or a man that does not have money to give? Because there's a distinction.
Well, whether he doesn't have money to give or is not giving money, the point is he has not money is not exchanging hands, because for what he has been spewing and for what people have been saying, he doesn't have money to give. You understand? Or he doesn't believe in giving money. You can attest from the Reverend Father issue. You know, so what the question you ask is what I'm answering. I'm not deifying him, but what I'm just saying is people who gravitate towards Obi are not gravitating towards him because of money, because he doesn't have money. Especially in Nigerian politics, where money or more money wins the order of the day. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he gives money or he doesn't give, or he has plan or he doesn't have plan. But what I'm saying is they are coming towards him for what he's saying. And I think whether you like it or not, with the number of people that are gravitating towards him, he must be doing something right. Because
you know, there are certain type of people, there are certain type of speakers that they call them spellbinders. They call them spellbinders because they're so compelling that they enrapture you in the narrative and take you to a place that is pleasing. So Peter Obi is somewhat of a spellbinder. So he casts that spell through rhetorics and leads you on that journey that he knows you want to go and takes you to that destination where he knows you want to be. So it's a spellbinder, and Nnamdi Kanu too was like that in
but one man,
but more potently. But where is the substance? To people that are not naively led, that's where they always halt it. That show me the money, as they said in Jerry Maguire. Show me the money.
But one man, you're mistaken. You're missing one point. No matter how spellbinding you are, you cannot just win over a man like Mogalu. You said it yourself.
Yeah, but Mogalu is already, I mean, come on, man. He's a homeboy now. Homeboy, you know.
That's why I just broke that to you before.
Clansman.
Mogalu is only going to Obi because the chain was broken. If he had gotten his presidential candidacy, he would have been campaigning for his own presidency. Even if they say come and join hands with
How will Mogalu explain himself at the next New Yam Festival if he doesn't endorse Peter Obi? When he goes home for the next New Yam Festival.
I broke this down to you recently before I started. I said the Igbo man has not been known to be supporting his own fellow Igbo at the top of top of politics, especially if this fellow Igbo has one comma or one ish corruption allegation or something. He doesn't. He goes for his own, because in Igbo land there's this thing they say Igbo. Everybody, and that's one weakness in the Igbo land. They don't cover for each other. So any Igbo man that you see that is thriving, trust me, you hardly find an ish with him. That's why I broke this for you. It's not a matter of ethnicity now. This man, Mogalu, is supporting Obi because of his stories. I think because these are human beings. No matter Obi said it to us. That's what I was trying to break down to Atiku. The mistake that Sowore did, and Sowore even said it. He said, when we came out and told them how we are going to increase power supply,
they started to steal our plans. Yeah.
We told them how we are going to change the health sector. We told them how we are going to increase the minimum wage. Just 2 months after, they came out with that same plan. Even if their own is shabby, you know. So you don't give your ideas out immediately.
No, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. Obi still have his, I mean, Sowore still have his plan on land now.
Yeah, he had his plan.
Obi needs to do his own. Yeah.
So when I said it himself, that after he said those things, he said it. Look at them; they're copying it. Look at them. They went to increase what's it called, minimum wage. Look at them; they're even struggling with the minimum wage. Look at them. Look at it. You know, all the things Sowore said. They started trying to.
So, on what basis will you support a candidate when it doesn't present a plan? On what basis?
All right, answer that in a brief summary and round up. Because I want to be here. We are now heavily into 2 hours.
I don't know for sure, but I think what Peter Obi is trying to do is to hold his strong points to the last minute, so that he will now display it before the election proper, because he's scared that if he says exactly what he's going to do, these politicians, these old gagos, they will go there and they will imitate what he's trying to implement in the wrong way. And they too will be preaching the same thing. So nobody will know who to believe. So that's what I think.
All right, brilliant. Well put. Always well put by X0, of course. The artist formerly known as X0, now coming under the guise of Machala. Machala from Sweden. Yeah, I'm from Sweden. So yeah, I'm from Sweden. Let's acknowledge Joel of Nashville Superchat, who has joined Alexander Gomez in the use of that function. It says, it's okay to have your permutations, but it will be risky believing yourselves. Prepare, Obi is coming. Listen to him yesterday. Listened to him yesterday. He was so presidential yesterday. Those young heroes believe. So there it is. And thank you for the super chat, Joel. But that is the thing, though. Obi traverses places that are already with him to preach to the converted, and they, of course, they chant in supplication. But it needs to now start to make incursions into new territory. Is really what people are identifying. So if he gravitates towards where all these young and funky are gathered in churches and watering holes and pubs and whatnot, and then he preaches to them in that language that they know, they will feed him back what they know later. So it's preaching to the converted. It's okay to have your permutations, but it will be risky believing yourselves. Prepare. Obi is coming. Listened to him yesterday. He was so presidential yesterday. Those young heroes believe. So the young heroes believe, and but the more jaded heroes, they will want to believe too. But then he needs to present a plan. So present a plan to Mr. Peter Obi as we go on from X0 to War Peace, who hopefully still with us. So War Peace, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, one man.
All right, brilliant. So War Peace, so you see the conversation, ebbs and flows, but we kicked it off with the Wike lawsuit. So your take on that space.
Yeah, one man, I won't lie to you. I didn't listen to most of the conversation because I was detained by police since.
Really? What is that drive? Were you driving too fast?
No, my Navi was just taking me around. I was coming to one new area. My friend has a club, so I told you guys I want to buy money. So he promised to sell some money for me. So I came to this new area. So my Navi was just taking me around. But unfortunately, I was around UN diplomat area. So I passed through the yellow light. I'm not supposed to break the yellow lane. I broke the yellow lane. I was the special police that caught me. I have to form. I don't speak Japanese. I don't understand Japanese. So I was just begging them like I don't know what's my Navi. They just let me go anyway.
Yes.
Thank God.
To be a foreigner, it's always yeah. All right. Well, so well done. So to the Wike space, Wike's lawsuit, to try and get the mandate of Atiku. What do you think is in play there? Do you think it's after the mandate, or is he just using it as a bargaining tool for something else?
Well, all like I would say in Benin, all join. Yeah, Wike might say he's not aware, but it's politics. If he work out for him now, like this, the suit work out for him, he will be the next person to take that position, right? If they disqualify Atiku. So he's using that. Though he has come out to deny that he's not the one that filed the lawsuit, fine. He has made public announcement on that he's not the one, he's not involved. But I believe, for me, I just believe it's politics. He's trying to salvage what he can salvage from the position and get what he wants to get. One man, that's how I see it, though.
Is that sat nav still spinning you around? You still can't find the place?
I already found the place. I'm heading my way. I'm heading home now, so he's gonna take me around this small creek again and put me to the express before.
All right. And to Mogalu endorsing Peter Obi, I mean, really, no surprise, is it really?
Yeah, no, that's not surprise at all. Not surprising. He was supposed to endorse Peter Obi long ago because they are the same like mind now, intelligent and all that. He's supposed to endorse Peter Obi long before now. It's really too late, kind of too delayed, to my own opinion. That's how I see one man.
All right. Let me take you to one final space. how we paid terrorists from Niger, Cameroon charge. So this is a story from 2016. El-Rufai telling us rather how they've tried to pay off the bandits, but then of course, it looks as though they've just used the money to buy more weapons.
Yeah, that thing, that story you're hearing every day. I'm tired of it. This people supposed to be arrested. El-Rufai can just come out and tell us whatever he wants to tell us. How they try to pay off bandits and all that, it didn't work. First of all, they don't negotiate with terrorists. Once you start paying, when you start paying them, they'll start coming to demand for more and more and more. You know? And then I think there was one late guy to one national guy that came on TV before that said that they brought the bandit to Nigeria and all that. Those people, those herdsmen, and they brought them. And at the end of the day, they didn't use them because Jonathan, before they knew what was happening. So what everybody is saying is, it baffles me. It's just drop it to me that you try to bribe them and you try to do this and all that. So you know these people, and you're just trying to bribe them. The money you use to try to bribe them, why don't you use it to buy equipment and the army or whatever to go after them?
But even that money would have been used to buy more weapons. So is El-Rufai really a sponsor of terrorism? Is the question.
I believe it's the sponsor of terrorism.
If he's giving them money and we know they use the money to buy weapons, is that not sponsoring terrorism?
You are sponsoring them. That you are coming to tell us openly that you have come several times to talk about these terrorist people like they're in your backyard. You know, you're sponsoring them, you're using them as a leverage to get what you want to get in the north. It's only other people's families the terrorists get to. They don't get to you. They don't get to your cousins. I don't understand these people. You know, these people are supposed to be in jail. They're supposed to SSS supposed to summon them for questioning. But unfortunately,
are some people above the law in Nigeria? Would you say?
Yeah, a lot of people are above the law. Like you just said something like that guy that spent 130 something days with the kidnappers, only for you to come and start prison Buhari again. So imagine that kind of person is in power. He will act like he's above the law. There are so many people above the law in Nigeria. People just come out and say anything they want, and nothing happens to them, and they go scot-free with it. There are people above the law in Nigeria, my brother. There are law for people, and there are law meant for Nigerians. There are law meant for the elite in Nigeria too. So it's difficult in Nigeria. It's funny in Nigeria though. I don't think the same law that control the common man in Nigeria, that control the elites abide to too. There are different laws for different people.
All right, brilliant. So thank you, Warpy. So Warpy is 4 time. Let me go from you to Aizon. And on my way to Aizon, let me plead with the people watching to click on the like button. We're trying to get the likes up. So if you're looking at the screen and you see that the numbers of likes don't marry up with the numbers of viewership, then then it's upon you then to try and make the corrections as you can. So click on like and subscribe as we hear from Aizon, and we take him to the space then of Wike's lawsuit. Good to see you, Aizon.
Yes, sir. My British connection. Good to see you. One man, maybe if you tried, maybe as an idea, maybe if you run like a raffle for people to hit the likes, I don't know if that would even work with you. Maybe it might be an idea to give people an incentive to hit the like button.
Is this empty-headed hypobians that come here? They've already concluded that I'm an Igbo hater. So they would never. They come here out of spite, mainly out of spite. That I will watch your program. I will not click on like. I will not subscribe because I hate you. But carry on.
Yeah, no problem. About the Wike situation. Before I even jump into that, let me just give some praises to some of the panelists today, specifically Ajanle Koko and Saki Fada. Initially I had called in because I was hearing Kolata's narrative on the Niger Delta freedom fighters, but Ajanle Koko corrected him in a way that even a lot of Ijaw people I know would not even have been able to do. So I want to give Ajanle Koko a lot of props for that, because
is it Ajanle Koko an honorary Izon now?
Yeah, so he will come. We will give him chieftaincy title whenever he's ready. He should come. You know, he broke it down perfectly. One man. I mean, the way he analyzed the situation was just, and I hope Kulata was able to take the lessons that he shared from that. And same thing with Saki
Yeah,
Fada.
Kulata will never take a lesson. You know, Kulata thinks he's cleverer than everybody else now. So,
Yeah, nobody's clever. You know, even yesterday I was listening to Ajan Lekoko's, last night I was listening to his breakdown on reasons why we should question Peter Obi. And as you know, I'm a Peter Obi supporter. I also support Showere. So I'm kind of between both camps. But, you know, his breakdown of the criticisms are fair. And I was listening to the banter between him and Joel of Nashville yesterday. You know, and I think there's Peter Obi better be careful. This presidency that is asking for, you know, and I support him. So it's crazy, but the presidency is asking for, he better be careful, because if he gets it, the expectations are so high. You know, they're very high. That bar they've set for him is high. They've, you know, that everything he does, especially from his followers, if he makes a deal with someone that he's not supposed to make a deal with, if he can fall from grace very, very quickly. So it's okay for us to question him, to criticize him, to challenge him, to have doubts. It's okay. We should do that, as a matter of fact. If you're a true supporter of Peter Obi, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to really, really ask those questions. And, you know, and I'm waiting for him to release his manifesto online so we can read the details of what he plans to do. But back to the Wike situation. You know, I was listening to you talk about Atiku's leadership style. And you're right. You know, why is he taking this hard stance with this man? Why are you prolonging this situation that you should deal with very quickly so it can go away and you can focus on trying to win the election? Why? You have to ask yourself, why drag this on longer than it has to last? All he has to do
I think he thinks he has to beat him down to show that he's alpha, because it's old school thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, but you want, you know, they say it's not every fight that you should get into. Atiku is trying to run to become president of Nigeria. You have no time to be fighting one of the power brokers in your party. You just don't. You can't afford to get into this kind of match right now, especially when you're going up against another political behemoth in Tinubu. You just cannot do this. It's not worth the time, it's not worth the press, it's not worth the effort. What he needs to be doing, honestly, one man, he has met with Wike. Wike has told him that they want Ayocha Ayu to go. Okay, fine. If that's the case, don't fire Ayocha Ayu if you want to save face. Don't fire him. Ayocha Ayu should come out with a press release that he's officially stepping down as head of PDP or whatever the case may be. And he should just do the media run, go to different channels and say, listen, there was a lot of issue around my appointment. I think it's more important we focus on the election and the party. And for the party's sakes, I have decided to step down from my position. That's the end of it. Atiku saves face. He doesn't seem to be cowering to the dictates of Wike. Wike, on the other hand, gets what he wants and is happy. And you can move on with the election. But this thing, the longer it drags on, the longer Wike is making comments to the media, dancing. I'm sure you saw him dance in front of the camera the other day, doing all this silly stuff. The worse it is for Atiku. Because what's happening is, as people in Rivers State, and by effect also by Elsa, as they start to question whether or not they're going to support PDP, they're going to be running to other parties. And if I'm in the APC camp, yes, sir.
Ayuzon, make us sing
Yes,
that
sir.
song for you now, where we could dance. As if we did, as if we did, as if they sweet us, if they pain them, as if they pain them, if they sweet us. Una sabi sing for that place, oh, Ayuzon, I like that song, man.
I don't know what the English translation is, but only hotel. Well, only hotel.
One man, you need to go and look for music. You have to use it for our introductory music, yeah.
Wike na weary. Wike na weary. Na madman. Can you imagine Ajalo Koko? Instead of these people to be talking about how they'll become president and they are dealing with an incumbency, they are busy doing this thing. Wike is dancing and as they pay them in they sweet us, and people are laughing. He's saying that his stuff. If he didn't do, he didn't day. You know, all this stuff. And Atiku is there. Atiku as a leader should end this immediately. Let it go away, and then you move forward. That is the thing. Give this man what he wants, but save face. Let you resign in public. Just come out and say, I don't want this wahala, please. I don't need my name. I'm going to step down. That's the end of it. But these people, one man, this goes to show how these politicians are. These people will drag on a situation of power and watch the world around them burn because they want to be rewarded with their thing. They will burn everything else around them just so they can get what they want. These are the kind of people that, you know, we are about to elect into office. I was looking at the election the other day and the history behind Tinubu and Atiku, and I said to myself, my goodness, it's like standing in the middle of a river and you have a shark on one side and you have a crocodile on the other. Who do you pick to jump to? One side is the crocodile, which is Tinubu. The other side is the shark. And then you know, who do you pick? You pick your poison, essentially. That's what we're faced with. That's our future in Nigeria. But yeah, that's my I think is very bad.
All right. You're breaking up. So, yeah. Go on. You're back now.
No, I was saying if you're APC, in River State, you know, the likes of Tony Cole and some of these other people, what's his name? Tinubu should try to leverage that. There's some weakness there. There is a weakness there that he can manipulate to his advantage.
All right, thank you, Aizon. So thank you, Aizon. So for time, of course, Aizon. Let's go on then to Ajanle Koko, but by popular demand and by his own demand, let's trail in Ajanle Koko with his intro music. So let's trail in Ajanle Koko with his intro music.
When did they bend them in the sweet us? When did they sweet us in the they never say something. As in the sweet us, you go to bend them. As in the bend them, you go to sweet us. As in the sweet us, you go to bend them. As in the bend them, you go to sweet us.
So there it is, right there.
I like that song, man.
so there it is, only out there. So we get contention and his lawsuit, Ajanle Koko.
I think there's another report that he has denied that lawsuit.
Yes, we read that as well. Yeah,
that is not connected to it. But you know, but the whole thing is telling us that Atiku is not handling the situation well, and what Wike is doing as well. Well, some of us might look at it as if is too difficult. Look, let me tell you this. The Southerner have sacrificed a lot for that party, PDP. And what I mean by this is that PDP had in their constitution rotational presidency. And prior to the primary, they jettisoned that rotational presidency. And our people in the South, though they stood up, they fought. But at the end of the day, due to one reason or the other, maybe to them, they think that, well, let us change, you know, the direction of the party. Let us make it open. And, you know, and after the primary, Atiku became the flag bearer. And looking at the structure of the party now, all the strategic positions are held by Northerner. Northerner are the ones in position of power in all ramifications in that party as at now. So if our people don't fight, if Wike being the strongest person from the South don't fight this fight now, then they will turn themselves to football that can easily be kicked here and there. We have seen it, what Buhari has done for this country with Fulanization having its people in all strategic positions. So if we have it, if now as we have it at the party level, what is it? What guarantee do we have that when Atiku actually win, he won't feel all the strategic position with Northerner? There's no guarantee. The party must start that inclusiveness within the party structure. When you see inclusiveness within the party structure, that can be replicated within the governmental structure as well. But when we have the party structure being dominated by one side of the country, and you want us to support it, and then just go after them and vote them in power, no, it won't work. So on that, in view of that fact, I think Wike is fighting the right cause for the Southerner. Though we might look at it as selfish, as if he's doing it for himself, or he's pursuing his own political agenda. But on the other side, in looking at it in a rational way, you can see the angle where Wike is fighting. He's fighting a just cause. So he has to fight it to the end. Because Atiku and Northerners did the same thing against Jonathan in 2015, when Jonathan did not allow the North to have the candidacy of the party for the position of president. All these Atiku, Tambuwal, Saraki, all of them voted out of the party and went to form APC. That resulted in Jonathan's failure to win the presidency. I mean, to retain power in 2015. So what Wike is doing now is a tit for tat, and I support it. If that party has to be dragged down, let us drag it down. Let us bring it down, and then we will now look at, okay, what is the next? What is next? But as of today, if Wike and his team cannot fight for equality within for fairness, justice, and equity within that party, I'm telling you, if Atiku wins, the same thing, this injustice that is going on within the party structure is the same. They're gonna replicate in the governmental structure. Atiku, I mean, Ayosha, you have a responsibility to live by, I mean, he has that responsibility to honor his word. What he said before the primary is that if Northerner emerges as the step down, he's an honorable man. He demonstrated that before during the abrupted Third Republic. He was the Senate president. Some incident happened, I can't remember again. He stepped down as the Senate president. He didn't let it
go into too much controversy. It didn't allow that issue to degenerate into serious problem within the party. He stepped down. He stepped down, and then the Senate presidency went to the east. I think it was about the structure of the party as well. And I can't remember what actually happened, but he did it during the third republic. He stepped down as the Senate president.
Yeah, that was the first Senate during our
sorry. Let Ajane Koko roll through because I'm just waiting now to round out. Sorry, World Peace, but I carry on.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to buttress my point. So he stepped down. So he's a man of honor. He should live by his what is known for as a man of honor. He should demonstrate it. He should step down for a southerner to emerge, and then if possible, it can they can do some restructuring within the party so that the position can look balanced, and it's not going to be one-sided within the party. So Atiku have a big responsibility on his head. He has a big role to play to ensure that, yes, it brings everybody together. If he failed to do it, look, Wike is like adete to le fun wara, but only da wara no. So Wike is doing the right thing as far as I'm concerned. At this moment, the way I see for me, I don't mind Wike fighting that party and drag it down and destroy everything if possible. Why must we Southerner continue to just be follow? Follow cannot help. Let the party go down. If that is what is going to result to, let everybody lose, and then we will learn our lesson from there. So the people fighting on the other side in APC that are fighting against Muslims, let them fight it down as well. That is what is good, because that country is full of, injustices. It's full of unfairness. It's full of all this kind of, domination by some people using some kind of way to dominate others. We should find a way to stop it. So people should be fighting for their right. They should fight for their people. And Wike, I think, is doing the right thing. Woman, that's the way I see it.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Ajane Koko. Thank you, Ajane Koko. And apologies, World Peace. I wasn't shutting you down. I was just waiting patiently for Ajane Koko to land so I can, because we're 2 hours, 45, nearly 50 minutes into it, and it's meant to be. So I wasn't shutting you down.
It's okay. I understand.
All right, brilliant. So we leave it there. And please, if you haven't clicked on the like button, please do that. If you have no reason not to click on it, then click on it. And if you want to subscribe, just click on the subscribe button as well. Then join us in the later session. So I'll leave it there and meet you in the later one. And peace. Thank you, everybody. Ajane Koko, World Peace, Machana, Aizon.